Hi. Hello. Hi, everybody. Oh, it's a race to get on by 8:45. Hold on 1 minute, please, while I close my blinds. You know, yesterday morning was 60 degrees, and now it is a balmy, I don't know, 30? Something like that. Yeah, that's how we roll in Cleveland, Ohio. One moment it's 70 degrees, the next morning it's 40. Yeah, 2 days ago it was close to 70. Yeah. God, I can't get the lighting quite right on all the things, on all the channels, but good morning, everybody. Can I get a good morning? Good morning. Thanks. I hear you. I appreciate that. Let me get my lotion because I do that in the morning. So this morning I chose a Chicago mug because I was listening to my friend on, oh gosh, I want to get this right. Hold on, please. Let's see, Journey. Anyways, I think it's our Journey to You podcast. Tarsha Smith. Anyways, I was listening to her podcast this morning and can't find the exact name. It's like our My Adoption Journey podcast or something. Anyways, great podcast. She's really good. And I was listening to her whole story. I binge listened the last 4 weeks. So shout out to you. And her biological family lives in Chicago. So I was like, I'm going to grab my Chicago mug. So good morning. What mug are you drinking from? I would love you to take a picture of your mug that you're drinking from this morning, if you drink coffee, and post it on social and either tag me at RG Adoption or hashtag RG Adoption so that I can see it. I'd love to. I'm a big mug person. Okay, I have decided today is the day. I'm going to start my recording for my podcast. I have some guests all lined up to record. I'm doing it. And I know there's a gazillion and one podcasts out there, and I should have done it 3 years ago when it was on my goals list for the first time. It has been on every year since. But I haven't, because I guess I was not called to do it yet until now. This is going to be my year. So the Adoption Roadmap podcast is coming. It is coming. I should probably not have even said that, but I did. Okay. Hi, Jen Ever 110. Good morning. Good morning. All right. I got a whole lot. Let's see here. Where shall I start? And feel free to ask any questions. Hello, adoption advocates. Good morning. Okay. Oh, guilt. Anyone feel guilt as part of the adoption triad? Guilt. Guilt is something, as a Jewish woman, that plays a very big role in my life and is a very big word in the Jewish community, but I'm guessing in a lot of other ethnic groups, religious groups as well. Does guilt play a big role in your group, whatever that is? I know that was like Jewish guilt is a big thing. Guilt in adoption. And the way it showed up this week in my community, because if you don't know, I show up every week and talk about, I'm Rebecca Greenspan, by the way, if we have not met, nice to meet you. I am the founder and CEO of RG Adoption Consulting. We help guide hopeful adoptive parents who would like to adopt a baby down that path and throughout their journey by holding their hands and leading with compassion and honesty. And it has really truly been a privilege for me over the past 10 years to help over 400 families, or right thereabouts. I have to pinch myself sometimes. So every week I come on here and I talk about what has come up either online that we've interacted with, or a lot of what we bring up is conversations we've had with our clients, with our families that we work with, or with other agencies, or something that we've read. So this week the idea of guilt came up. And in this realm, it was asked, I feel guilty because I feel like I'm being too choosy. And the thing is about that, and it's funny because I get a lot of, I do a lot of free consultation calls, inquiry calls from people that are interested in starting their adoption roadmap and heard great things about us and want to talk about us to see if we're a good fit. And when I ask the question about race, or about substance exposure, I ask, what are you open to? And with substance exposure, it's usually a more cut and dry. We're open to this, we're not open to this. A lot of people will also say, I don't know enough about it, I have to learn more, which by the way, that is the way to start the adoption journey is, I don't know a lot, I want to learn more, and maybe we'll open up our ideas. But when it comes to asking about race, people feel this need to explain for the next 10 minutes why or why not, or you really are open to all races, but they don't know if it would be great for the child because of where they lived and all of that. And I get it. And you don't need to explain yourself. What you are comfortable with, you are comfortable with. Now, you do need to explain yourself if you're a white family and you're looking to adopt a black child. I'm going to question that. Like, why? Where's that coming from? Why do you feel like that would be a good fit for your family? Are you equipped? What do you know about it? What does your circles look like? But when it comes to, so anyways, so the idea came up, am I being too choosy? I feel guilty about it. And the fact is, you know your truth. You need to really tap inside and listen to your truth, because only you know your truth. As an aside, this past weekend, some of you may have seen on my stories, last Saturday, I tapped in all day to this online event called Unstoppable. It was the book launch for Jamie Kern Lima's book, Worthy. First of all, woo, was I blown away. That was a day. That was an event. They had everyone from Oprah to Jay Shetty to Amy Porterfield. And I don't know if you know any of these names, but you know Oprah. Ellen DeGeneres, Maria Shriver. Anyways, it was pretty cool. And everybody was pouring into you about the feelings of worthiness and self-doubt. And I think it was, I don't remember who said it, but something about that intuition that you have. And that how so many of us will ask others what their opinions are. And we look to others to tell us our truth? No, only we know our truth. That gut feeling is always right, they were saying. And I believe that. There's a lot of times that I went against my gut and, I always paid for it in the end. But your gut knows. So tune into yourself, stop, get quiet, and really try to understand why you are making the decisions that you're making, if they're set in stone or if they're fluid. And you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You are setting up your family system for success, and only you know how to do that. So take the guilt out of it. And trust me, feeling guilty along your journey is only like, that is nothing compared to the guilt that you're going to feel once you become a mom. That guilt is real. Things come in waves. That's my next note. Things come in waves. What might I mean? And if, by the way, if any of this resonates with you as I'm talking, please put it in the chat. I know lives don't get pushed out very, very much. And I hear from so many people over the years, oh, I've been listening to your lives forever. And I would never know it because I'm like, really? Comment. Give me a like. Give me a, something. It gets, quiet here behind the camera alone. So I'd love the interaction. So things come in waves. What do I mean? Can you resonate with that? Can you resonate with guilt? What I mean is the activity in your adoption journey. Good morning. Good morning, Karen, Robert, Jen, adoption advocates. Are you drinking out of a mug right now? I want to know what it looks like. So things come in waves as far as your activity. You could be getting sent situations. You could be hearing from your agencies, from your consultant, from your attorney about all these different situations, and you're presenting or you're not presenting. It doesn't matter. There seems to be a lot of activity around your adoption journey, and then crickets for what seems like forever. Could be a week, which seems like forever. Could be a month. And that is the nature of the beast, my friends. That is adoption. It comes in waves. And it feels like the momentum is gone. It feels like a big letdown, and it's hard because you felt like, oh my God, it's happening. It's coming soon. There's all sorts of things going on. We're seeing all these situations. I was so close. I was one of two, and then nothing. And you're like, this isn't going to happen for me. Do your best. Or here's another example. You're matched. And you're having banter back and forth with an expectant mom. And then a week goes by and you hear nothing. And a week and a half goes by. And you've already moved on. Well, this isn't working. This wasn't mine. I have 5 calendar notifications. Oh, today is the first day of Women's History Month. Amelia Earhart, that's the name that came up in my mind. So think of a woman in history that you think of. Don't let your mind suddenly go to, I'm done, it's not going to work, it's a fall through, defeat. You have to keep hope alive. If you feel like you've lost momentum, there is always something to do. Call the agencies you've signed up with. Call your consultant and have a conversation. Text your therapist or go to your therapist. Look at your profile. Can you update some pictures? Maybe go do a video profile with my friends at Evernester. Maybe there's things that you can do. Maybe add another agency. Maybe you can't do that. Maybe just get online and learn. Listen to a podcast, read a book. Start a new project. There's always something that you can do to keep yourself in momentum during your adoption journey. But what you should never do is go down the rabbit hole of defeat and negativity. And don't lose hope. It goes in waves. Things come in waves. Here's one that we've seen a couple times. We've had people who start the adoption journey, the domestic infant adoption journey, and then move to foster care thinking it will be easier. Said no one ever. It's not easier. It's different. And then you have a placement in foster care with foster to adopt maybe for a year with the hopes of this is going to be the child who makes you a parent, and then they get reunified with their family, which you know was always the goal, and then you feel ruined. Like you just, again, that defeat. It's ruined you, and you don't know what to do. And I'm going to give one other scenario. So one is not easy than the other. They're different, and you have to give it time. Like if you start the adoption journey because you want to adopt an infant and this is the way to go, you can't then quit in 5 months and say, this isn't working for me. It's not how it works. You have to be in it for the long haul. And it's not going to happen. 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 And boom, you get the call. Get on a plane tomorrow. Oh my God, this is happening so quickly. No, it's not. It took you 2 years, right? Who has that happened to? I've heard that so many times where people are like, oh my God, this is all happening so quickly. I'm like, hold on a minute. You've been at this for 2 years. What do you mean it's happening so quickly? It's happening now. They're like, oh yeah, you're right. So it's not easy. No path is easier than the other. You have to be in it for the long time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It comes in waves. It's roller coaster rides, right? Your emotions are going to be the highest it's been and then the lowest it's been. All within seconds, it could happen like that. And trust me, as an adoption professional, I feel it too. My team feels it too. We are on a high 1 hour and on such a low the next hour when a family has experienced yet another loss. I mean, it is just a roller coaster of emotions. Hey, Simone. I miss you. Okay. Let's see. Can I throw another little thing at you? Yeah. I'm going to throw in one more thing for you this morning. And that is, do not be afraid to ask questions. Can I really ask that? Yes, you can ask that. You can ask anything. Do not be afraid to ask questions. When you get a situation sent to you from an agency that says, Mom is due, gender unknown, she's due in 4 months, she doesn't report drugs, she had, I don't know, thyroid issues when she was little and doesn't anymore, birth father is unknown. Do you want to present? Excuse me? Do I want to present to what? I don't know anything about this situation. Now, the only exception to this, and you should still ask questions, is if mom called an agency from the hospital, the baby is born, we need somebody here now, this is the only thing we know. Okay. Haven't had a chance to really talk to mom. The doctor said the baby's fine, or the baby was born with this in their system, otherwise they're fine. Then you have to make a gut call. And remember, trust your gut. But if she's 4 months out and the agency is giving you this much information because they've only had one conversation with her and now they're matching her and then they're going to ask you for $10,000, never okay. No. N-O. Well, my agency, says that that's all that they have and they don't really encourage questions. I don't care. You ask them anyways. And if they're not willing to answer, there's a problem there. They're not doing their homework. They're in it solely for the transaction. There are always exceptions. But we need to push agencies to do better for us, right? And a lot of times they have the information. But let me tell you something, there are so many people out there, and I think maybe they've gotten used to it, that don't ask questions, that feel so desperate to just say yes, and then maybe they get matched with the wrong match and they can't handle it down the road, and maybe it's the right match, but it's 50-50, and they're just used to the fact because they've told their families there isn't really room for questioning. We're going to give you all that we know. And so they've trained their families that way. They don't ask any questions. They take what they're going to get. No. So if you're looking for agencies, maybe that's one of the questions you ask. Do you encourage questions? And how much information do you typically give? Or how long does it, expectant parents, how long before you try to match do you get to know an expectant mom? Ask these questions. Okay, push back. But only decide to present once you have pushed back a little bit. And I'd say there's very few situations that I've received that tell you everything you need to know and really don't need to ask any questions. Almost every situation, there's still some questions to ask. Let's see here. Tim Reams. Good morning, Tim. Hey there. Thanks for hosting this. Wondering if you could hit on the topic of adoptive parent insecurity around birth-parent relationships. We're considering adoption, and it's so new. What can one expect in this area? Thank you so much for asking. And if you go back through a lot of my lives, check the descriptions, and some of them may talk just about this. But around birth-parent relationships, well, here's what I'm going to say without getting too far into it, because I've been on for almost a half an hour, but I will hit on this more in detail over the coming weeks. All adoptions are open. All adoptions are open. Even when an expectant mom is asking for a closed adoption. All adoptions are open. Why do I say this? There's a couple reasons. Number one, you need to be open with your child about their adoption from the day they're born. Okay? No secrets. I think Tim left. But anyways, no secrets. So be open with your child. So that's openness. Number two, we live in an era with Ancestry.com, DNA testing, 23andMe, all of that. If and when your child, If and when your child wants to know who their bio parents are, they're going to. And just because a bio parent wants a closed adoption, they may change their mind later. And you need to, for the best interest of your family, of your child, have an open heart and an open mind to welcome her or whoever in the family back in. Okay, so all adoptions are open. What does that look like? I'd say predominantly it looks like, at the very least, letters, like emails, letters, and pictures sent back and forth throughout the years, multiple times a year, sometimes through an online portal that your agency sets up. So if that's something that you think you would be most comfortable with, try to find an agency who has a portal like Child Connect or Hearts Connect, I think is what it's called. There's a couple different portals online, and agencies will help facilitate that conversation. A lot of people will do texting and calling and back and forth. directly. I know we always did FaceTime pretty early on. And it might lead to, if not right off the bat, maybe over the years, visits in person. And it's a beautiful thing. There are so many myths around open adoption that just aren't true. It is not co-parenting. The birth mom knows what she is doing and knows she is turning over all of her parental rights when she places a child for adoption. And she wants to see that her child is thriving over the years and that she made the best decision for this child. She still loves this child. I know it's something that a lot of people fear and are nervous about when they first start, and that's normal and that's okay. And as I always say, you should start this process with an open heart and an open mind, because what you know and what you don't know today will be very different if you are working with people who actually educate you. And if you tune into things like this, will be different down the road as you begin to learn more, to sit across from a birth parent and hear their story. I encourage you to listen to various podcasts on open adoption, on adoption stories. Open adoption is probably one of the most beautiful gifts that you can give yourself, your child, and the birth parent. I truly believe that in my own personal experience. There are a ton of podcasts out there. If you just search adoption, you're going to find a ton. I will be starting mine in the next, I'm going to say month, which will be called the Adoption Roadmap. I know Lori Holden has Lori Holden has a book called The Open-Hearted Way to Open Adoption, and she also has a podcast called Adoption the Long Road, and I think they just wrote a book called Adoption Unfiltered. There is, I was just talking about a podcast early on called, I think, The Adoption Journey by Tarsha Smith, Tarcia Smith. Hers is great, also on YouTube. But if you just search adoption, you'll find a lot. There might be one called the Open Adoption Podcast. I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but there are a ton. So go read some books, go listen to some podcasts. I love the fact, even my phone now is giving me a thumbs up. I love the fact that you have so many questions and fears. I love that. And I love that you're here asking those questions and addressing the fact that you are feeling a certain kind of way. Husband and I, okay, you're in the process of figuring out adoption and surgery, so much to consider. Yes, Tim, set up a phone call with me. We'll do a Google Meet and we can talk through a lot of this stuff. But I want you also to go to my website and watch the video. It's called rgadoptionconsulting.com. There's a video on my website. It walks you through our adoption roadmap process for anybody who's interested. Whether you work with me or not, it will walk you through what the adoption process looks like and how we particularly work with our families. But one of the things that's really important that's going to help you, and which I love that, I'm so proud of, is being part of a really safe, open, supportive community. You can't go through this without that. Our client community, I know, is the best community out there. They are so supportive, so knowledgeable. They have 10 years behind them. Some are walking beside you, some are in front of you. I am the most senior. I have 12 years in me. So I've done all this. I've started with the fear. I have been scared. My parents, all the things. And so has everybody else. And everybody has a unique experience. So the beautiful thing is, whatever you are feeling, there's somebody else feeling it too, that has figured out how to get through it. And education. You cannot do this without education. This is a lifetime commitment. Whether it's surrogacy or not, you'll still have a story to tell your child. They're very different financially, but also for the course of your life. Anyways, okay, I am going to stop here. I have been talking for over 30 minutes, which is my pleasure. I will be here next Thursday morning, 8:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are veering one way or another off of your adoption roadmap, get right back on. Keep that hope. Things are going to be a roller coaster. Throw away that guilt. Do a gut check in. Let's see, what else did I say? No journey is easier than the next. They're just different. So don't think that you can try one thing for a couple months and if it doesn't work, switch. You got to stick with it for the long haul. I love you guys all. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.